Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's open house.
So super happy to have Laurie Bordeaux, education specialist from the region of Peel with us. Um, we started the program in 2022, and I believe Laurie was either in the first cohort or in the second cohort. And like I said, we've had about 125 people go through. So we reached out to Laurie to basically ask her some questions about the program and her experience. So welcome, Laurie. Thank you for joining us today. Um, my first question to you is, can you share with us why you took the program? What interested you or motivated you to take this?
Well, I guess I'm not in an actual formal leadership position, so I'm one of the aspiring leaders, and I've been looking for a leadership course to take for a long time, but a lot of them are university based, or they're really expensive or involved, or they're nursing leadership focused, and I'm not a nurse by background. So, and then there was nothing really that spoke to long-term care that I could see out there as I was looking. And then I was looking because I need something on my resume. I wanted something on my resume that said, you've taken some, education and management. I have a ton of experience in long-term care, but I've never taken on a leadership role in name. It's always been informal leadership. So that was kind of what attracted me to it, because it was so long-term care focused. And as we all know, I'm not sure who's on the call, but for those of us on the call that are in long-term care, we're a whole other animal. We're very different than other sectors in healthcare. And so having a course that's designed specifically for long-term care really appealed to me.
Great. So you mentioned a bit about personal growth. So could you talk maybe a bit more about that and any benefits that you took away from the program?
Yeah, so again, I took the course to get to build my resume and kind of have the ability to apply for jobs that are leadership roles that I might have an interest in. So from a personal perspective, after taking the course, it really gave me a lot of confidence. So one of the things that I gained from taking the course was I can be a leader, because of what Valentina had said about you work together with other people in the sector. So they're coming from other organizations. And there was a few of us. There wasn't a lot of us that were aspiring leaders. Most of the people on the line were leaders that I had worked with throughout the 4 months. And I was starting to realize that some of the problems that they had, I was able to help solve. We were able to have conversations about the content of the course and make sense of it together. And I didn't feel like I was standing outside the ring. I felt like I was in there with them. So it really gave me a lot of confidence to feel like I can apply for a leadership job if it comes up. And then I also, I found it was more than meaningful to discussions with the other participants. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a minute. Having those meaningful discussions with other people, and I still stay in contact with some of my cohort, like some of the people that I took the course with. 2 years down the road, I'm still in contact with a few of them. So it was really good for me for building my personal network and my professional network.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Laurie. So you spoke a bit about your personal and professional growth. And in terms of organizational growth, have you seen any developments there, anything you've noticed there?
So for our organization in particular, we actually have like a plan and focused group. So leadership development is on the plan on the horizon. And so I've been able to bring that back to our team to talk about this course as part of an integral part of that. We're still in the planning stages, but for me, immediately through the course, and for those on the line, what might be most beneficial to you is the fact that all of the practical tools and resources you're encouraged to share them with your coworkers when you go back to work. So it's not like some courses where, oh, this is proprietary and you have to buy this and you have to buy that. There's a lot of tools that you get that are super practical that you can hit the ground running with. And the instructors are telling you, take this back to your teams, like teach them how to do time management like you've just been taught. Help them understand what it is that you're doing and the benefits that you've gotten from this. And the sense I've gotten from me is that Advantage Ontario and Laridae are really trying to improve the sector. Like it's not just about improving, it's about improving one person at a time so that the sector can become more successful from a leadership perspective.
Thanks, Laurie. And just a final question for you. I know you get a lot of people coming up to you just ad hoc asking, like, what's your experience like and things. And so I'm just wondering, based on some of those conversations you have, if you had one takeaway that you'd give people who are considering this for them or their teams? What would be the one thing you'd want them to know?
I think the big thing for me, having been in long-term care for so many years, so I've been solely in long-term care for the most part. I do a little bit of extra work in other sectors like acute, but for the most part, I've been full-time in long-term care since 2007. And the big thing that we notice from leaders is that we take someone, for example, a nurse who is working on the floor on Friday, and then on Monday, she's the supervisor of care. So on Friday, you're working along your coworkers, and then on Monday, you're expected to supervise them without anything in between. And it's very common. You see it all the time, and it's probably one of the key reasons we have the revolving door, particularly in leadership positions, but in all positions in particularly in nursing leadership positions, but in all of the leadership positions in long-term care, we have this turnover, and that's costly, right? That's really costly to have to recruit and train and orientate these people to their roles, whether they're coming from internal or external. If we don't give them any kind of training, especially those internal candidates that we're trying to promote and we're trying to promote from within, which makes sense as an organization, this course to me, it's canned, it's already there for you. The examples and case examples are exactly what we experience in long-term care. There was so many moments where we'd get a case example that we were working off of. So it's not just lectures, it's not PowerPoint and lectures, there's a component of that, but a lot of it is group work and a lot of it is case example based, which is ideal for our sector. And the case examples are very, very clear examples of what we experience. And like Valentina was saying, they update those based on feedback as well. So as the sector changes, the case examples may change, right? And make that experience really good. So for me, my feeling is if you don't train your leaders, you're not going to be successful as an organization. So that upfront investment, which isn't very much when you compare it to all sorts of other leadership training, when you're getting 4 months plus the coaching, if you just look at coaching sessions, how much they are, it's a good upfront investment to make sure that you're setting people up for success.
Thank you, Lori.
Well, thanks, Laurie, for taking the time to kind of, be honest and share about some of the benefits and, your rationale about taking the program. Is there anything else you want to share or any value that you saw? Like, has your supervisor or your organization seen value or, as Valentina said, is there one key takeaway that you'd like to share with the audience about, your last minute to kind of promote the program or kind of why you enjoyed it?
So for me, I guess it's another personal one, but also organizationally, the only other pieces are around, so like I said, I'm an aspiring leader. So when I came back from the course, I shared my learning with my people leader, had conversations with her, and it opened up a dialogue for me, as far as where am I going in the organization and what can she do to support me through that role. So for those of you on the line who are thinking about taking the course, I just found like sharing your experiences with your leader. She's now given me opportunities, now that she knows I've had this training, opportunities to utilize my skills with other, like when we're hiring or when we're onboarding people. She's opened up leadership courses to me within the organization that are only for leaders, but she's asked them to open it up to me so that I can attend. So there's these kind of things that are happening now for me that are now layering on top of this certification. I'm now getting all these other leadership training. So when a job opportunity that I want to apply for comes up, I'll be ready for it. And I'll have the resume and the knowledge and the skills to do that. And then organizationally, I did take the tools back with me and share them with team members. If somebody's like, oh, I don't have any time, I don't know how to manage my time, I'm like, do I have the tool for you? And it's a practical tool that you can use. And then it also solidifies my knowledge explaining, right? This is how the quadrants work, and this is how you do this, and all those kind of things. So I was able to take my knowledge and spread it to others. And then I'm sure they spread it to others as well, right? So the only, I know it's not a last word, but sorry, I have one other thing is that I would recommend to organizations to even not just send one person. Like I went on my own because it was new, right? Now that we know it's established and the stats are showing that it's good and it's beneficial to you, I almost recommend doing it as like a leadership team. And then you can share your, that's my idea. I don't know if it's going to fly. It's one of the ideas I'm trying to sell, but I know it's a bit of an investment up front, but I highly recommend it.
Are there opportunities to have this as one session for 3 hours as part of a leadership retreat?
And Lori, I'll just ask you, you found, what were your thoughts around the schedule and the timing between sessions?
Yeah, I think the schedule is good. And just in relation to the question, I think even just separating the modules out and doing one of the 3-hour modules at a leadership training, I don't think you would get the benefits from it that you do from the whole course, because each of the case examples sort of lead into one another. And there's a real link and cohesion to it. So I understand the question, because I know in long-term care, we're always looking for a speaker to come and teach to our leadership groups, but I'm not sure if taking pieces of this would be it. But you could certainly talk to Valentina, like you said, and Stuart about customization. For me, the homework, I actually just like set aside an hour before the 3-hour session and just made it one day. So that's how I did my homework. After the first session, when I realized it's only like 30 minutes to an hour, then that way it was fresh. But there was the actual reading homework pieces, but the actual practical pieces you take away right away and say, I'm going to do this next week, or I'm going to do that the next week. And I found that with all the other leaders in the course, they actually would come back and say, oh, I tried that right away the first week, or I didn't do it the first week, but I should have, because it was really good. And now I've been using it all along. So the pieces that you take away that you need as a leader, you can customize it and take it away. So their homework is actually implementing it, but the actual, reading and being prepared for the session is really nominal.
Great, thanks.